So you may not know this about me, but Paris is my favorite place. It is such a city of magic. And when I was in my 20s, I spent a year there. And I think now of the bravery of going and doing it, I'm astounded. But I'm so glad I did, and it began a lifelong love affair. I actually studied French, enough to almost not say very, very, very much at all, but that just speaks to my love of this. And my dear friend Lori, I actually met in French class, and we took a wonderful trip there. We've taken a few wonderful trips there. And one of the times we went to this restaurant, and it is, oh my God, I always get the two restaurants confused. It's L'Ami Louis, which has been there, forever. And the trip that we took was some nearly 40 years ago. Anyways, we went to that restaurant. We had a magical, wonderful dinner, and it's the kind of thing you never forget. So the potato cake there is something to just remember and think about. We go forward now, what was 20 years ago, around 20 years ago, it was 18 years ago. I was dating Roy, and we'd been together, I don't know, maybe about 6 months, and he invited me over for a Sunday brunch, and he made this potato dish. It was like so unbelievably delicious, and I was like, what is that from? So he shows me the recipe. It's like in an old binder, and I'm like, how long have you, and he said he'd never made it before, and I'm like, how long have you had this recipe? So it was like he'd had the recipe in a binder for over 20 years. And he was waiting for just the right person to make it for, and it was me. And he made the dish. I want to say his was possibly better, just so amazing. And it is like such a story about our romance, because it is, in fact, that's the moment I fell in love with him. I mean, a guy who had this recipe, whether I'd been to the restaurant or not, for 20 years in a binder that was dog-eared, that he took out, that he made for me. Oh, I love a man like that. But to think it was this restaurant that I had this amazing experience with Lori, it felt like synchronicity and a magic moment. So we went in December for a wonderful little trip. We had just completed something we were really excited about, and we're like, let's take a trip and go and celebrate living. And we have our priorities, and like Roy has ideas about restaurants, and I have ideas, and it's like we have our lists and what we want to eat. And I was like, the one thing that I want to make sure that we do, it's like my number one priority, is to go here. And I love going for lunch much more than going for dinner. It's like if I'm going to have a glass of champagne or something, I'd rather have it at noon. And so we had a beautiful walk getting there, so we were so hungry. And we went in, and it was just exactly like I had gone through it, like, nearly 40 years before. Probably some of the same waiters, and frankly, their sons were only men, by the way, being waiters there. And we had such a wonderful meal, and they bring you more food than you can ever imagine. Like, the portions are ginormous. So it was like they bring you sort of like the breast meat first, because we ordered the chicken. It's one of the things they're famous for. And, you eat that, and you're like, well, clearly we're done because it's a whole chicken. And then a little bit later, they bring back the thighs. You're like, how could we even eat more? But one way that Paris has changed is, I said, oh gosh, I don't even know that we can eat it. And he said, would you like me to pack it to go with the potatoes? And he did, and it was spectacular. So many other wonderful things, the best foie gras we'd ever had, beautiful escargot. They serve exotic fruits, and it's not like they bring you half a pineapple, it's like they bring a tray of so much fruit that you can't even believe it. So we went, we had a lovely dessert, and at the end, we took the leftovers, and we took a walk, and I was like, Roy, we're gonna find the exact right person who looks hungry and would appreciate this lovely meal. So we walked around, we walked back, because by that point you're full. We walked back to the hotel, and we found just the right person. Roy's like, that's him. And we gave it to him and said, we've just had this lovely meal, and would you like this? And he was just like ravenous and so excited, and he opened it up. And sharing makes that experience all that much better. So if you go to Paris, you absolutely have to go to the restaurant. And we're gonna workshop it and come up with Roy's version of the potato, and soon we're gonna get it to a Substack near you, meaning mine.